Yes, sir.
Hi, Rushikesh. How are you?
Hi, sir. I am very fine.
Can you tell us something about yourself?
Yes, sir. Sure. Hi, sir. My name is Rushikesh Bakewad. I am basically from Nanded, Maharashtra. I completed my graduation from Pune University as a Bachelor of Engineering. I started my career as a test executive in one of the Pune-based organization 3 years back, and now I am working as a test engineer. I have around 3 years of experience in manual testing, automation testing, as well as web-driven testing and database testing. Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, you're audible. Please continue.
Okay, sir. I have experience in manual and automation testing. In my career, I work on different domains like e-commerce domain, as well as investment banking domain. I have experience on manual as well as automation in smoke testing, sanity testing, regression testing, and functional testing also. And in my last project, I work as automation tester, in which we have used Selenium with Java and BDD framework to a BDD approach with a Cucumber framework.
Okay.
And also we are using a page object model. And for build management, we are using Maven, and for nightly run or any schedule, we are using Jenkins. And in manual, we are using Jira for defect tracking and management tool. And also we are familiar with the agile framework.
Okay. So you were mentioning about Jenkins. So what is Jenkins and what is its use?
Jenkins is used for continuous integration and deployment when we have any schedule or nightly runs. For that, we are using Jenkins.
Okay. So are you aware about any other CI/CD tool apart from Jenkins?
Other tool, no, sir.
Okay, no worries. Now you were mentioning about Maven. So what is Maven and how is it helpful to the project?
So Maven is a build management tool, and we are using in our project for adding the dependencies and download the jar files automatically.
Okay. Now you were telling about page object model, right? Now,
yes, sir.
Yeah, if I say page object model is a big failure, will you agree? If yes, then what are the drawbacks?
Drawbacks, I do not know, sir.
Okay, so what do you feel? Is page object model a good thing or a failure?
So I think it's good, sir.
Okay, so can you explain what are the good things for that if we implement page object model? So what are the advantages of it?
So we can use any web elements directly, and no, sir, I can't explain.
Okay, so this type of question will be asked to you. What are the advantages of page object model, right? Because whenever you explain your framework, so see, as I went first, we discussed about Jenkins. I asked you one question on Jenkins, then we asked question on Maven, and now it's about page object model. So what does page object model do? It makes the code readable. It makes the code reusable, right? Because the object repository is independent of the test cases. The code becomes less and the code becomes optimized, right? So less lines of code is good for any project, any framework, right? The maintenance of the code is also easy via page object model, right? So these are few of the advantages of page object model that you should tell, that it helps in reducing code duplication. It helps in maintenance of the code, right? Less maintenance is required if page object model is implemented, right? Readability is
Yes.
there. So this kind of things you should tell. Okay. Okay. Now you were telling about agile. So do we create the test plan in agile?
Test plan, yes, sir.
So when do we create test plan in agile?
Test plan at the starting of the project. When we have the business requirement documents, and after understanding all, we go for test planning before execution.
So do you
Before
think,
writing test cases?
yeah, so in agile you will have each sprint. In each sprint you will have certain user stories that you will commit for completion, right?
Yes.
So do you think the test plan, it would be useful to create the test plan before the at the time of business requirement or at the time of requirement analysis itself?
So after understanding all the requirements properly, and when we have all the scenarios are completed, and then we can go for it.
Okay. But let's say you get the user story in every sprint for testing. So would you be able to create a static test plan in the beginning of the sprint or at the beginning of during the requirement analysis?
No, sir.
Okay. See, test plan is something that is required for all the documenting the testing activities, what will be your strategy, what will be your approach, right? Now, in agile, what happens? You will have the test plan. It is not like you will not have the test plan. We will have the test plan, right? But it is
Yes.
actually the live document which keeps on changing, which keeps on evolving depending on the sprint requirements, depending on the overall timelines, right? It might happen that you would have created the test plan in the very first, before sprint 0, before sprint 1, right? Now, in the test
Yes.
plan, you would have documented that the approach or strategy for 10 user stories. Now, after sprint 2, you get the 11th user story, which will be inserted as the 7th story, and one of the 10 stories will be taken out from the release, right? So you will have to change your test plan also. So test plan is
Yes.
nothing but it's a document that needs to be updated during each and every sprint planning. So whenever you coordinate, whenever you collaborate with the team during sprint planning, you will go through the document, you will update it based on the requirements, you will change it, you will modify it, and every time a new version of the documentation will be evolving, right? So that's how your test plan will be changing, right?
Yes.
Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let's say there is an application which you have to automate. Okay. Now, this application has a very common operation like, sorry, clicking on button, log out, and navigate to some particular screen. Now, these are common operations that they have to log out. They have to navigate to this particular home screen, for example, and they have to click on some button. These 3 steps are the common steps, right? So
Yes.
how will you use this in the common utility class?
In common utility, we also can use background.
Yes, background keyword you will be using.
Yes, sir. In background, we mention all these common steps,
Yeah.
which are for every using every scenario.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt. Background keyword would be a part of feature file, right?
Yes.
So in common utility, how will you implement this code?
So we also can use a properties file.
Properties file. Properties file, you are telling about the dot properties file?
Yes, sir, dot property. In that file, we can mention the any browser URL or which things were required commonly.
See, the significance of properties file. So this also can be asked you in an interview. The significance of dot properties file is that you can generate the properties file with respect to various environments, with respect to various projects. For example, you have project A and project B with different URL, different username, password, different set of configuration required. So those things can be taken care by the properties file. At the same time, if you have different environments, for example, you have one staging environment, you have one production environment, so you can create the properties file differently. Okay. You can also create the JSON based file. That is also fine. But in this
Sir,
scenario,
can you use any methods, or in that method we can mention all these steps, and that methods we extend or using
absolutely,
main class.
absolutely. Correct. Now you are going in the right direction. See, the application, the scenario which I gave you, it has a common operation. Every time it has to click on a button, log out and navigate, right? So when I say common, so definitely it will come in the common utility class, so that it can be called by most of the functions. If we write this code in any other class apart from common utility, then it will get duplicated. Let's say if it is being used at 10 places, so 10 into 3 lines of code, so 30 lines of code have got duplicated. So it is good to have this kind of code in the common utility class. Now my next question is, can you write the code, or can you explain how will you use this in the common utility class?
So by creating any method, and we mentioned all these steps in that method.
Yes, so there will be a common method. That is what you are telling.
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, so let this be an open question for the people who are watching this video. There is an application which needs to be automated. It has a common operation. Click on a button, log out and navigate. Now, how will we use this in the common utility class? The code needs to be written. Okay, so this is fine. Okay. Okay, now I'm giving you one Java program to write. So there is an array, right? And in that array, you have 1, 3, -2, -1, -3, and 2. Okay. Now we need the output in the ascending order, right? From small to first.
Ascending
So,
order.
yeah. So first will come -2, then first will
-3.
yeah.
-3.
Yes, 3, then -2, then -1, then 1, 2, 3. Right? So this should be the
Yes.
output. Right? So can you share your screen and write a Java program on this? I'm giving you screen sharing rights. Yeah, now you can share your screen. Just click on green button.
Okay.
Yeah, just share your screen.
Is
Did
my
you
screen visible?
understand? Yes. Did you understand the question and the output required?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you please copy paste that in the top of the notepad, so the viewers at the time of watching, they can see. Also increase the font size.
Yes, sir. Visible.
Perfectly visible. So the question is, you have 1, 3, -2, -1, and the output required should be first -1, sorry, first -3, -2, -1, then 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Sir, we can use arrays.sort.
Yes, whichever you feel you can try, and then I'll show you the solution. Don't worry, you take your time to think, right? This is a mock interview, even if you don't know the answer of the question, so I'll answer on your behalf.
Sir, by using this arrays.sort method, we can directly put the elements in increasing order.
Okay.
Sir, is this right?
So, can you explain what you have done?
Sir, first we have given array and use arrays.sort method, which will sort all the elements in increasing order, and I use for loop for iteration.
Okay, that's it. Any other approaches there?
Sir, by sorting, we can also implement it. By comparing every element with others, and if it is less, then put at first like this, and comparing with all the elements.
Okay. So you have initialized the array. That is, you have written array A, then you have declared that particular array, right? Don't you think you will have to initialize the array using integer data type?
Yes, sir. Yes.
See, I'll show you the solution. Yeah. So I'm stopping your screen sharing.
Yes, sir.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
See, what we are doing is, let's take this as an array, right? The elements can differ, right? Now, we need to use integer data type, right? And then,
Yes, yes.
yeah, displaying elements of original array. So this is simple system.out.println. And even if you don't want, then you can avoid. Then for loop we are keeping, right? Then we are using arrays.sort array, right? In this, we'll have to pass this. And then you
Yes.
will get you will be able to display elements of array after sorting, right? So this is how you will be writing this program. This is one of the approach, right? There can be
Yes.
another approach. So is my screen visible now? This is an algorithm that I have used.
Yes, sir. Visible.
So let's consider if this is an array. So I think your kid is crying, right? Do you want to go to him? You can pause the recording. Hello, Rushi?
Hello.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
your kid is crying, it seems. Do you want me to pause the recording?
No student.
Okay. So you will take some temporary variable, then you will print the elements of original array, right? Now,
Yes.
you will again use for loop, array.length, right? And you will repeat this step, right? So now repeat 8 to 9. This is outer loop, this is inner loop, right? Two loops are required. Then you have condition. If array of I is greater than array of j, then temp equal to array. So this variable assignment we will do, right? There is something like that
Yes.
we used to do switching the variables, right? Swap the two variables, right? Then print new
Yes.
line, and this is how you will be doing it, right? So these two are the approaches that you can do. So in an interview, once when you complete writing the program, you have to explain the code, right? Then they might ask,
Okay.
okay, tell me one more approach. Okay, tell me one more approach, right? So this is how it goes on. Okay, so you have to be very clear with the Java programs. Okay. Don't get confused
Yes.
and don't ask interviewer, is it right? Is it right? You should be confident. If
Okay.
you are not correct, then he will interrupt you, or else he will ask you questions. As I mentioned you that we had to mention that integer data type. So like that he will do, right? Okay. Now, can you tell me some negative testing scenarios for smartphone?
Smartphones.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
How will you
In a
test? Yeah.
negative scenario is like brightness of the screen is not visible clear in sunlight or not. That we have to check.
Hmm. So don't you think it will be a positive scenario? Let's say when you take your mobile phone in the sunlight, you should increase your brightness and then you should be able to see uh, the messages or whatever is displayed on your screen properly. And it's one of the happy path.
The negative we can say also sound is not clear. We have to check
So when sound is not clear,
volume.
volume. Oh yeah. So when will that happen?
So if there is any issue with the phone, or sometimes it is not laudable sound of any phone. screen is not working properly.
So you will verify screen is working properly, volume is audible for media content, for calling content, right? So don't you think these are positive, happy path scenarios? You have to tell negative test scenarios.
So please, can you explain?
Sure. So I'll give the answer in the comment section. So this is a good question for the people who are watching this video. So please put in the comment section which are the negative scenarios for smartphone. Okay. Okay, Rushi, I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rushi. It was nice talking to you and would appreciate if you can share interview questions with us once you give the real-time interview. You can send all those questions on our email address, rdautomationlearning@gmail.com. Okay.
Yes, sir, sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.